Hey, what's up? This is your boy, Professor Ken, aka Pimpin Ken. Now, before I begin the class, I want to take the opportunity, as always, to invite you to log on to hiphoppk.com. Go over there and join Game College. Now, once you get over there, you will notice it's a buy now button above my head. All you have to do is press buy now and you will get my classes, you will get all my movies, you will get my audio book, all of this for $14.95. All this does is pay for the maintenance. People have been joining in droves. I mean, it's going down. So make sure that you get that. Today's lesson is persistence. And we're talking about Professor Ken's secrets of success. In the first three lessons, we taught you about purpose, we taught you about imagination, and we taught you about desire. But none of this works without persistence. Persistence simply means that you don't never want to quit. You always gonna have that willpower. One thing I learned years ago when I was studying sales in college is that no doesn't mean no. And that's one thing that you have to understand. Just because somebody says no, that doesn't mean that you have to accept that no and accept that as a definite answer. People who are persistent know. People who are in sales, people who are in business, they know that the no is only an introduction into that person's psyche. That person wants you at that point to sell them whatever it is you're trying to sell. They want to see how strongly you want whatever it is that you're trying to receive. And the only way that they can see that is through persistence. You must know that no does not mean no. When I was taking sales many years ago, one of the things that the professor told me was that he said, Ken, when somebody tell you no, at that point, you want to drive home to sell a little stronger. You want to convince them people some kind of way, whether you tell them it's good for their family, whether it's good for, their ego, whether it's good for their job title or whatever. He said at that point, you want to make the sale. Because just because a person says no, that doesn't mean no. And once you understand this, you understand why a winner never quit and a quitter never win. A winner never quit and a quitter never win. Why do I say this? Because I remember years ago, my sister, my little sister, her and her husband were out one day and she seen a mink coat. And this mink coat was very, very, very beautiful. And my sister wanted this coat so bad that she did everything in her power to try to convince my brother-in-law, Doug, to buy the mink coat for her. But he gave her a definite no. He said, I'm not buying that mink coat. It costs too much money. I'm not going to do it. Every opportunity my sister got, she never gave up. She never accepted no as an answer. Every opportunity, she would tell him, let's ride by that mink coat store. Let's ride by the first store. And they'd ride by, and my sister just look at that coat. She'd just look at that coat. Another day would go by. She'd say, I want to go and stop in the mink coat, see if the price went down. And Doug would be like, come on, let's go. And they'd go and she'd look at that mink coat. She'd go and she would get magazines and she would cut pictures of that same coat, identical coat, and she would put these pictures all over her house. All over her house of this mink coat that she wanted so bad. But her husband kept saying, no, I'm not going to get that mink coat for you. No, I'm not going to get that mink coat for you. And my sister used to always say, Ken, do you have any money? Can you borrow me some money? I want to get that mink coat. She wanted that mink coat. She was persistent. And she knew that as long as she was persistent, she had an opportunity to get that mink coat. And I kept telling her I do not have the money because it was a very expensive coat. So she said, I'm going to get that coat. You just watch, big brother. That man is going to buy me that coat. So she just kept on being persistent. She would take him by the store once again. And she would park outside and they would sit out there for an hour. And he would just be shaking his head like, woman, you crazy. What is wrong with you? And all she can say is that I want that mink coat. Okay, let's fast forward. One day on Christmas, my sister knocked on my door. And when she knocked on my door, guess what she had on? Exactly. She had on that mink coat. That's what persistence is. Persistence is when you do not accept no. You do not accept no. You know that every no doesn't mean no. A winner never quit and a quitter never win. Because you never quit, eventually you're going to win. The key to this persistent thing, the key to not never giving up, to keeping that willpower and staying fast on what it is, steadfast on what you want, to understand what this principle really means, is to understand that persistence wear down resistance. My little daughter, who I love dearly, she's just a beautiful thing. This girl is something else. She always called me and said, Dad, I want this. Dad, I want that. And for some reason, I can never deny her. I can postpone her. I can put it off. But somehow, some way, she always get what she wants from me. And I just really had to sit down and I had to think about it. I said, what makes my daughter, Ladybug, so successful? Why does she always get what she wants? And I found out. It's because she never gives up. No matter how many times I say no, she always come up with her way to get me to say yes. And my other kids say that I'm soft for their little sister. Dad, you so soft for Ladybug. She can just get anything she wants. But the truth of the matter is, my other kids, they may ask me for something and I tell them no and they go about their business. But not Ladybug. She stay on Daddy's back. Daddy, please, I want this. Can I have this? She send me all type of texts and all type of emails of the pictures and the things that she wants until I finally break down and I say, here, girl, leave me alone. Take this mess. But the thing to be learned or to be taught out of Ladybug's action is that Ladybug is very persistent. She's persistent. She knows what she wants. She refused to give up. She do not allow me to tell her no. She never quit. And that's what persistence is. If you have a goal, you can't never give up. You got to always push towards the mark. You can't never give up your willpower. You got to always realize that defeat, that delay, that mistake are only setups for your persistence. And if you don't understand that, then you cannot pass the test. You cannot pass the test of persistence. If you do not look at delay as only an opportunity for you to have another chance, if you do not look at defeat as only an opportunity to conquer that defeat, if you do not look at your mistakes as only an opportunity for you to correct those mistakes through persistence, you will never be successful in life. You got to understand this. You got to get this in your mind. You got to have that willpower. You got to have that endurance. You got to be like a horse in the Kentucky Derby. You got to run the distance. You can't give up. Never give up. Once you give up, you give, say for instance, if you're going to graduate from high school or you want to graduate from college and you give up, what you do is you take away all the chances of seeing was you able and was you qualified to graduate from college or from high school. You know, I don't care what happened in my life. I never give up. If you're weak and you're not strong, then this is not for you. If you a type of person that every time something bad happens, you turn your back on yourself, then persistence is not for you. Let me tell you something. A lot of people think that Ken had it easy. Man, I done been through so much in my life. Man, I done had problems with friends leaving me. I done had problems with losing money. I had gambling problems. I had all kind of problems. People told me that I couldn't make it. People told me that I could never succeed because of the title that I used, Pimpin, because of my name. People told me that I was going to succeed because people are not into what I'm into. But I kept on being persistent. And because of persistence and because I stayed down, because I didn't give up, I was able to accomplish a lot of things. I was able to get me a beautiful home. I was able to accumulate me beautiful cars. I was able to get book deals and distribution deals. Despite all the odds, despite people hating on me, despite people telling me I couldn't do it, despite people telling me no, I understood that a winner never quit and a quitter never win. You have to be persistent. Persistent, wear down resistance. You got to keep that willpower. You got to keep a strong mind. And you never give up. This has been the chapter on persistence. Make sure you log on to hiphoppk.com and check me out. Peace.